Hi, I'm Ray Lampe, Dr. Barbecue, here at the Big Green Egg Culinary Center. We talk a lot about cooking on the Big Green Egg, but today I'm going to show you how to get some meat ready at a good price. This is a boneless pork loin. This thing cost me $15 yesterday. Now, it was on sale pretty cheap, but even so, normally you can get this for about $20, and it's a lot of good quality meat right here. This is good white meat, comes up from the top of the hog, nice pork chops in here, a nice pork roast. Let's get started with it. And you don't really need any kind of big giant knife. I mean, I have real nice knives, but it's a medium-sized knife. You may have to work a little harder if yours isn't as sharp as mine, but you can get it done. It's a great way to go. This here is the sirloin end of the thing. It comes from the back of the hog. It's a little leaner down on this end, so I'm going to cut this hunk off right here and get it squared up. Now I'll show you what we're going to do with this in a little while. That's not going to waste, believe me. So this end here, now this is the nice fattier end, but still it's not very attractive and a little out of shape down on the end. So we're going to save those two. We'll get to that later. Now I've got this beautiful piece of meat. See this end? That is where the big boneless pork chops come from. So I'm going to cut you a couple big thick ones like that. This is what in Chicago we call that the Ditka chop. This is a beautiful pork chop. Now you don't want to overcook these though. This is kind of lean up here, but if you cook it right, it's just fine. 145 degrees internal temp with a 3-minute rest, 150 if you have to. Don't go any higher than that. This pork is safe and delicious at that temperature. You can cut as many of those as you want, but I want to show you one more cut. I'm going to cut one even a little bit thicker and show you how to make a boneless butterfly chop. See that? That's probably 1.5 inches thick. Now, when you're going to make a butterfly chop, we don't see these much anymore. The pork loins used to be a lot thinner and a butterfly chop got big around. That's a pretty big around chop now. But some folks just like it a little thinner. Always remember to cut through the fat. Don't cut on the other side. Now, isn't that nice? That's a big, beautiful chop. See how that is? It's not that hard to do. And if you cut through and make a little hole in it, that's not a big deal. This is a nice chop for a big sandwich if you want to make a sandwich. And some folks just like them a little thinner like that. I don't have any problem with that much fat. That's how it comes from the store. If you don't like that on there, you can trim a little bit more of that off. Leave it on there for me. Next thing I'm going to do is make some thin chops. You know, maybe a breakfast chop I would call these. I like these. You throw them in a skillet for a quick breakfast. Put that cast iron griddle on your egg. Fry these up next to some eggs. You'd be in good shape. All right, there's some thin chops, breakfast chops I call them. So now I'm going to go for a little boneless roast. As you can see, you can kind of alter this however you want. If you want all pork chops, go for it. But I'm going to make a little roast for myself now. Right out of the middle, center cut pork roast. That thing right there would cost you $15 in the supermarket. Isn't that beautiful? Same thing, you could tie it with string. If you want it to be prettier and round, just tie it with string and it'll shape it. Doesn't really matter, doesn't change the cooking, but it'll look prettier if you like to do that. It'll look just like it came from the butcher shop. I don't care about that, I'll put it right on there like that. That's nice, nice pork roast. Now down here we're getting to what I call the ribeye end, and that's the part I really like. This is the part the chef's going to eat. So I'm going to cut some chops here. I don't like these to be too thick. How's that? Those are my favorite chops because it's got a little more fat on it. So I'll cut a couple extra of those. All right, now, last but not least, I can use this because it's left over, it could just be another chop, but I want to have some good, what I'm going to call cubed up pork meat. And you can use it for all different kinds of things. Now for this, I would trim a little bit more of the fat off. And I'm just going to cut it into cubes. Now you can use this for chili or stew, or kebabs, or what I'm going to do a little later is make this into kebabs, and then we're going to make them into tacos. Now for this, I would trim this off. But you see how much waste we had out of that whole pork loin. I mean, a little pile, really not much at all. This is a good bargain, and it's good quality meat. You just got to know how to cook it. If you overcook some of this, it will get dry. Okay, so there's a nice pile of stew meat. If you wanted more chops and less stew meat, that's fine. I kind of like using this stew meat. It's all good stuff. $15 pork roast. Look at everything I did here. I'm Dr. Barbecue at the Big Green Egg Culinary Center. go get you a pork loin and do this.